got some problems that you wanna solve? Then let's chat. That job getting on your nerves, then let's chat. Girl, you know I can relate, so let's chat. Cause I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom.
It's your girl Cece. I'm your hostess with the mostest.
line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Bottom Line Is. It's your girl Cece here for another episode, and this week's topic is in the career realm. So week 2 of every month is always going to talk about something career, whether it's career advice or having people come on and show you or talk to you about how to start your own business, or just, finance, literacy, or education, things of that nature. So I'm always trying to educate and help people out. Again, you will always hear me say that, okay? So, but I wanted to, again, this first month is about giving the history, giving the background. So I have been doing HR for about 15 plus years now. I've done a lot of different things in my career. I've worked a lot of different industries. It's helped to really make me, as one of my bosses called me, multifaceted. But it's good for me because one thing about me, when I am at a job, I really immerse myself in the culture, into the operation. Like when I'm recruiting, for instance, I like to get realistic job previews about the job, what people would be doing, their day-to-day, and, be able to help out other areas. I've even rolled up my sleeves and helped out on the floor. I love employee engagement, all those type of things, right? Yeah, I'm just very patient. I go above and beyond. I'm a night owl, so I've worked a lot of 24/7 places where I have not left work till 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 10 p.m., whatever, you name it, I've done it. And that doesn't bother me because, like I said, I feel like you can't put a price tag on being happy about what you do. And if I can make an employee happy and make a difference in their life, then yeah, I'm going to do it. Why not? So, but anyway, it's that's what makes the jobs for me is, like I said, the employees. Now, the management, that leaves question marks. I feel like every other job I have had good managers. In the beginning of my career, I had some great influential managers that really supported me, helped to, I feel like, shape my career, gave me advice and, kind of make sure I was on the right paths and gave me those stretch assignments and those opportunities to be able to further my career. Like I've always given a month notice usually when I start a new job. Now, I feel like as I continue to go in my career, as my friend says, I have boss energy. So it gets a little bit harder sometimes to work for other people because when you're interviewing, you're trying to sell yourself in the interview, and then there's just not enough questions that you can ask a CEO or the hiring manager to really understand what the day-to-day is, because they're not going to really give you the nitty-gritty, right? They're not going to tell you, well, this person does this and you're going to be dealing with this and dealing with that. And they're going to make it sound glorified. Their job is to also market and sell you on the job, sell you on the role, if they think that you're a person that is a good fit. So I had a job. I was HR manager, and I've taken steps forward in my career. And then for certain scenarios, I've taken steps back. I've moved cross country for jobs, and then I've come back. And I moved cross country and I came back. That's a whole history there. I mean, if you care, you want to know more, just let me know. We can talk about that in the week 4 unscripted. But anyway, I like to just cut to the chases here. At least I try to. I can be long-winded. But anyway, yeah, so I've never worked for a family-owned company before. And I've always, the least amount of employees that I've ever serviced was about 200 to 250. Well, this place, it was only 50 employees to service. So I thought to myself, piece of cake. I can do that with my eyes closed, right? In fact, it turned out to be the hardest job that I have ever had to deal with. And it really tested my patience, and they say that when God puts you into these scenarios where it seems like really tough for you to handle, a breakthrough is coming. And I do feel like my breakthrough came, but when you're in the midst of it, it's so hard to really see that, right? So, all of my friends, they were just like, oh my gosh, you need to start looking for a job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it's only been a few months. And my coworkers would even say to me, well, you're out of the honeymoon phase now. And I'm like, a honeymoon phase? What? It's like, what do you mean? Yeah. So that was a real thing. Like, I really should have me some wine up here talking about this. But anyway, yeah, it's like I had came out the honeymoon phase. I had never, like I said, I've been working in HR for over 15 years. And even before I got into core HR and I was just working retail, I've always strived to meet quotas. I like challenges. I've always gone, like I said, above and beyond. This was the first place that I had ever worked at that made me question why I got into HR, question myself and my abilities, made me feel less than what I'm worth. And I felt like, in plain terms, that I was getting dumber. I felt like I was getting dumber being there because I wasn't being challenged. Now, some people, they're like, well, I can sit there and just collect a paycheck and not do anything. That'll be cool with me. That is cool. Don't get me wrong, right? But I'm here to do a job and I want to make sure that I do the job well. And I really, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, make differences, and I like to bond with employees. I'm that person that just goes out on the floor and have conversation with the people. And, I want to know about you and how I can help you. And that's rare. Like, for an HR professional, unfortunately, some people's hearts are not in it. They do it because it pays the bills, right? It's not everybody, but it's a lot of people that aren't that. But anyway, I had never been disrespected on a job. Okay. So what I've noticed red flags, and the family owned company, my boss was the CEO, but the dad was above him and still involved. It should be retired, but hey, that's neither here or there. If you want to keep working doing you, right? But yeah, the dad really being involved really made it impossible for the leaders such as myself to really, even his son, to be able to do what he needed to do to be successful in his role and others. We had no autonomy in our roles. Our hands were always tied, and it really made it hard. So what we one day had a conference call, and they told me that that they trying to ask me for other ideas with recruiting. And I'm like, well, hey, we can find people, but it's we don't have anything that makes us stand out. Instead of addressing the core problem, they just kind of overlooked all that. It went over their heads. And I'm just like, that's fine. We can find people, but if you don't have anything in the organization to retain them, then we're just going to keep chasing our tail. Right. Yeah. So during this conference call, long story short, basically, if I'm the person that's in charge of the hiring, why do I have to sit and show you how I recruit? Okay. Let me say that again. And my job as HR, okay, is to recruit, do this, do that. Why do I have to take time out of my day to show you the specifics on how I do what I do and when I do it? How is that efficient and not efficient, but how is that productive to you and to myself and for the organization? It's not. So either you want me to do it or you don't want me to do it. And so that was my challenge back. I said, that's not an efficient use of my time. And the manager's response was, "You are a subordinate and you do what the manager tells you you're supposed to do." Now, I've managed teams. I've managed a lot of projects, this and that. I don't like the word subordinate. And it kind of took me, when I heard that word, it made me think of, and this is just my opinion, it made me think of slavery. And I was like, what? Like, I know my mind shouldn't have went there, but it did. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, that's what I was thinking to myself. And then he continued and said, well, who signs your paychecks? You need to do what I say do, and just all this other stuff, and was just very rude and nasty about it. And this was the father. And the son, my direct manager, didn't say anything until the end and said, well, we shouldn't be threatening people. And this was on a Friday afternoon. So on Monday, my manager came up to my office and, just asked me if I was okay. And I said, no, really, I'm not. I really didn't appreciate that tone of voice and being spoken to like that. And something really should be done. And I left the conversation thinking that, and hopeful that things would get better, but they really didn't. They, in fact, got worse. And I still had to do the very thing that I thought was a waste of time, just to kind of keep the peace, because I wish I could put the clip in like the Rugrats that says, I have responsibilities now. So, because I had to be a caregiver for my grandmother, I had to, again, make the sacrifice, which you'll learn about in week 3 episode of caregiving. But that's the things that you have to do. Just like if you have kids, you gotta, be able to put food on the table and provide. So sometimes we are stuck at these dead end jobs that we don't like because we have responsibilities, and it really makes it hard, because when you're not truly passionate about something, it makes it so hard to come into work and really be our true productive selves. And that's why some people are living like paycheck to paycheck, because it's just a job. Some people have really lost the idea of when it's time for you to start working, really look into finding a career. That'll be a topic later on in the podcast. But anyway, that type of language just continued on. And it wasn't just me that got it. But again, I was the newbie on the block and was freshly out of my honeymoon phase. So there you go. But yeah, so we're going to skip down to a few months later and still being told that, well, I'm not bringing in hires. I'm not doing this. And I said, well, again, I advise you that it's holiday season. Not many people are looking for jobs or careers or anything right now. So we're not going to have a lot of traction. But at the beginning of the year, things will start moving. So we need to make sure we get ready. We didn't have a training program. No type of manuals, and I'm trying to clean up things and make things good so people can have a proper experience, right? Yeah. So yeah, it just made it really hard. But anyway, moving on, I had just had a conversation in my one-on-one with my manager and said, I don't feel like there's trust in our relationship and our dynamic. I thought that we had a good relationship, but I feel like when we're talking, I get one side of you. And then moments later, I get an email with the opposite. And it's not adding up for me. And I don't understand that. So yeah, I don't know what we can do to fix this, but I don't have trust in you as my manager. I just don't. And I really feel like the job has really affected my mental health. And I've never had a job do that per se before. And I've always felt like if the minute I see a red flag, I'm like, okay, maybe that's just a one-off thing. But then when something happens again, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to be a part of the downfall. I need to go ahead and exit stage left. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But the next day, or maybe 2 days later, or the following week, something around there. But within a close time frame. After I had that conversation with my manager, the father proceeded to disrespect me again and say the same thing. And again, I'm trying not to be, for confidentiality reasons, too descriptive with it, but just give high level because I'm trying to get to a point of a conversation and discussion, but it was important to have some backstory. But basically, saying the same thing again, you are a subordinate and you do what a manager tells you to do, and just kept on going in. And I always remain calm in the situation. Even the first time when I got the ultimatum and I was told, well, you either do what I say do or you can walk out. And then this time I said, do you have anything else for me? If not, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the call. Oh, you better not hang up on me. That would be insubordination. Well, I'm not going to let you continue to disrespect me on the phone. So do you have anything else to share with me? If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this conversation. As I mentioned, I am on the other line with a company trying to handle some X, Y, and Z. Yeah, like I'm never going to step out of character, because the minute I think I'm going to step out of character, I'm not going to give you that satisfaction. Okay. So when I got off the phone, the dad proceeded to call me a total of 6 times after that. So that became harassment at this point. I'm like, yeah, no. And I decided to go ahead and have my assistant come up so I can just start showing her stuff, because I was like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this anymore. I was willing to put everything on the line and just say, I will be resigning effective today. And when I let my manager know, he was like, so you're not going to give notice? I said, for the first time in my career, I am not giving notice because of X, Y, and Z. And instead of saying, well, I'm sorry that you had that experience, is there anything that I could do to remedy the situation? He just said, okay, well, let me know when we can get together so you can go over any open-ended items with me. So I say all that to say, I quit. Now what is the name of this segment, right? I've seen so many snippets on social media and other places where, when you work a job, you are disposable. You can be laid off, furloughed tomorrow. They can find somebody else to do what you do. You could pass away and they will have your desk cleaned out by the end of the week, unfortunately. So if it's something that you really want to achieve or go for, then start building a plan towards it. Okay. So, I started when I saw the true colors, a few months ago, I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep complaining about this without providing a solution. Like, my pet peeve is when people complain all the time and they don't propose a solution. Like, you just want to hear yourself complain, which is fine, but I'm not here to keep hearing this. Like, no. So I started looking, why not? And I felt like if the right opportunity comes along, then so be it. I will be here ready for it. And then I also wanted to plant the seed, and, my friends kept pushing me to start my own business and do my own things. And again, really tackle that boss energy. And so, I'm in the process of trying to start my own consulting business. So this definitely is going to be a new year. Doors are and things are really going to transform and open. And I'm really excited to see where it goes, because again, I feel like I really lost myself at this, while at this organization. And I want to get back to being happy. And, we spend so much time at work you build friends. I built a lot of friendships from being at work. And it's hard for me to do that because in my role, in my level within organizations, to be able to do so. So I've always valued those relationships, and they're long-lasting relationships. Any job I've ever worked, I still talk to the people there to this day. And that's a blessing, to be able to still communicate, run ideas off. It's awesome. Not many people can say that. And so again, quit, now what? So you want to quit your job because they're getting on your nerves? Let's chat, right? That's in my intro. So what's your plan? Like, what's your exit strategy? If it's not working out, don't just go to another dead end job. You know what I mean? Like, figure out, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Yeah, that process is going to feel brutal and it's going to be hard. And I know I'm a procrastinator too. But when it's the right time, you're going to get energized and you're going to be ready to really do it and do it well to the best of your abilities. Like, all of these things that you're going through within your career are really trying to mold and shape you and give you that experience that you need to reach your full potential. And just, take a minute to really, like, what is your full potential? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? Like, how do you want to be remembered professionally? Because like I said, the jobs can lay us off, get rid of us, we can leave, whatever. And it's not even gonna matter. Nobody's gonna care because they're gonna talk about you. Oh, well, you didn't do this person, they didn't do this, and talk about you to the next person that filled your role. So it's like, yeah. Go. I'm not saying don't give 110%. I mean, no, do what you need to do to succeed while you're there, because those bills still have to get paid. But what I'm saying is, start thinking about what your exit strategy is going to be and that timeline and what's it going to look like. Don't just complain about, oh, that job getting on my nerves. I don't like this person. I don't like that person. Okay. And because guess what? You're going to always come in contact with people that you don't like and they don't like you. But guess what? That shouldn't affect you being able to do your job. Like, everybody has a job that helps make this world go round. So, just think about that. Like, what, again, is your exit strategy? So, again, what are you good at? What is so, like, we are such a creative, dynamic group of people. So many people out there have so many talents. And now with with social media, it will allow us to continue to maximize the communication. Like, I feel like I've learned so much from TikTok. Like, I really, really do. Like, I would love to be a content creator, influencer. Like, I wanted to make videos because I'm always traveling, to provide recommendations, because I look at people's videos when I'm trying to figure out where to travel and what to do. So if I can provide that level of information to somebody else, why not? If that's something that I love to do, and hope that, even if I don't get rich and famous off of it, if I can, again, help a few people out, why not? So, I've learned how to cook some good food off of TikTok. Yeah. I mean, I feel like TikTok is like Google. Like, I use it like Google, but I'm just using that as an example. But again, what are your strengths? Talk about it. Like, let's talk about it. We need to have outlets. We need to do this. We need to do that. But yeah, I can't deal with the disrespect. No. Because, and it was also, I looked at it as me putting my foot down. I can only hope that me leaving the job will have an effect on them where maybe they'll think twice before they do that to somebody else. And it might not. It might take another person doing the same thing that I did before it really sinks in. But at least I got them thinking. So that's all I can ask for, But they kept on going. They figured out how to do the job after I left. So, and that's just it, what it is. So I'll leave with this. The bottom line is, if you're working these jobs and it's just not really meeting your heart and soul, then again, figure out what's your exit strategy going to be and write it down. Bounce it off a friend. Bounce it off. If you have a great relationship with people, maybe at work or in your friend circle, bounce it off of them. see what they can do to help support you in that, whether it's just listening to your ideas or whatever the case may be. But, you know, plan that out, making sure you save. So if you're without a job, what's your plan going to be financially? Things like that. So just something to think about. But that's my experience. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. I mean, you're not always going to learn something when I'm doing these podcasts. It's really just me like sharing my experiences. And again, hoping that it can help somebody else, but it's just us having a vibe and a conversation. So hopefully it resonated with you, but make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that jazz. And join us next week for another episode of The Bottom Line Is. Take care. Peace out.